Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Ollie. Welcome to the next tutorial in the series of Java for Beginners. In this tutorial, we're going to be going over something called constructors. Now, this is heavily related to object-oriented programming, so if you haven't watched the introduction, which was last tutorial, go and do that now, because you'll need to have the knowledge we learnt last time. So this is pretty much the class we made last time, except I've removed the parts where we set all of the names and stuff. That's because if we know that we want to set certain values in an object when we create it, we can make it slightly easier for ourselves. So in our person class, we know that we always want a name, we always want a date of birth, and we always want an age. And an easy way we can do this is to make sure when the person creates a new instance of this object, we want to make sure they have to specify a name, date of birth, and age. So this relates also to when we learn about methods. We're going to be making something called a constructor, and a constructor is quite simply a method that runs when a new instance of the object is created. So a method, constructor, looks like this. We simply write public, and then we write the name of the class, so person. It doesn't have a return type like void or int or whatever. We then do two brackets and then open and close the block. So this is what a constructor looks like. We say public, and not going into too much detail, we'll do that later, but public basically means that we can access this from anywhere, not just within this own class. So we make a public constructor called person, and now quite simply, when we make a new instance of it by calling new person, this method is going to run. And we can give this method parameters, and we're going to give it a parameter of string name, string date of birth, and int of age. And you'll see now that our tutorial class lights up in red because it says that this constructor isn't correct. That's because we need to now specify the parameters for the constructor in here, and it's a whole lot easier than writing person1 dot whatever, person1 dot name equals whatever, person1 dot date of birth equals whatever. We can now specify the values in here. So if I remember what order I did it in, name, date of birth, age, so I can simply write Ollie separated by commas, then I'll do the date of birth 170395, and then I'll do the age 17. And then here I can do the same thing. Can't quite remember what I called them. Martin, I think it was. Whatever of the whatever, and 16. And then quite similarly here, we can do another name. There we go. There we go. I just got lazy. Alright, so basically, forget about whether these add up correctly. We're just learning about constructors. So what have we done so far? We've initialized a constructor, and we've said the constructor needs to take three parameters: string name, string date of birth, and int age. We then specify these three that it wants inside of here. So this isn't actually doing anything at the moment because we don't do anything inside here. So it's all very well creating it and then giving it the information, but we don't actually do anything with the information. We need to set this equal to the one they pass in. We need to set the date of birth equal to the one they pass in. We need to set the age equal to the one they pass in. We do this by writing, so we want to access this object here called name, but this parameter is also called name, and by default local variables always take priority over global ones. So to access this one up here rather than this one here, we're going to write the keyword this, and this simply refers to this whole class. So we're going to write this and then dot, and then we can access name just like we would with an object. So this dot name, then we can say equals name, and this name here refers to that there. And by calling this dot name, you can see it highlights in green for us, is referring to that. We can then say this dot date of birth equals date of birth, then this dot age equals age. So now we have a constructor. We specify three different parameters: name, date of birth, age, and then we set those to the corresponding things. And this is a fully functioning object now. If I drag this up and then hit run, you can see pretty much the exact same thing happened, apart from me changing the values of the different things we put in. So we pretty much did the exact same thing, just in a whole lot less time, because we didn't have to write person1.name, person1.age, blah 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 blah, like so. So the most important thing to remember for this tutorial is that a constructor is a method that runs when a new object is created. It's as simple as that. So that's it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we're going to be doing a big recap of basically everything we've learned, so hopefully that'll be really useful, so you can maybe go over some of the concepts you didn't know or you weren't quite sure about, and without having to watch the whole tutorial again. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.